Caught my wife cheating, and it's brought me relief. I'm released from the turmoil. About 2 months ago, my wife expressed her desire for a divorce. She was unhappy in our marriage. She felt that I didn't support her emotional needs. I was too cold and too negative. I was shocked to the core. Our marriage was foundational to my identity. I have been a faithful husband for over 9 years, a great provider, and we've got 3 kids, 8, 6, 4. Sure, we've had our problems, but it wasn't anything that we couldn't work through. I pleaded to give me a chance to work on myself and to go to marriage counseling. She agreed to the counseling. The next month was the hardest of my life. I spiraled into a deep depression, trying to understand how I had screwed up so bad that my wife was ready to end our marriage. She was so hurtful in the way she constantly brought up my failures over the past 10 years, our incompatibility, her unwillingness to forgive, etc. I threw myself into getting better. I sought help with the depression, started Zoloft, read everything I could find on reconciling a marriage. I apologized and took responsibility for the pain I've caused, but it was never enough. It just pushed her further away. Then she backed me into a corner. She called my family to get them to help me, telling them I was suicidal. I wasn't. She wanted me to move in with my parents so I could work on myself, using our relationship as incentive to move out. We can't get better until you get better. She threatened to withhold our children, saying you are too unstable to be alone with the kids. I won't keep them from you. You can have supervised visits. She also threatened to have me evicted. We live on her family's farm so she could stay in the event of a divorce, but I couldn't. She said her mom was going to send an eviction notice. A few weeks ago, I finally started to seek guidance from friends, family, and a couple of attorneys. They couldn't understand her unwillingness to reconcile our marriage. We had a great thing going. Finally, an attorney suggested I hire a PI. It's legal to track the car she drives and look at the call/text logs with our cell provider. I haven't hired a PI, but I did look into her cell records. She started texting another man about 3 weeks before she brought up divorce. He is extremely wealthy, with children the same age, and is going through a divorce himself. She's been talking with the same attorney he is using for his divorce. Last week, I ordered a GPS tracking device to put in her car. It arrived at my office yesterday, so I charged it up and figured out the app. When I got home, I put the tracker in her glove box. She told me she was going to see her friend last night. A few girls were getting together to have some wine and adult conversation. They needed some girl time. After the kids went to bed, she showered, put on makeup, and left the house around 8 p.m. She normally goes to bed at 9 p.m., so this was strange. I pulled up the tracking app. She didn't got to her friend's house. She went to the man's house she's been texting for 2 months. She stayed until after midnight before coming home. It all makes sense now. The unwillingness to reconcile, the regular overnights at her mom's house, 2 miles from his house. I believe she's been cheating for a while. The proof of cheating has actually provided me some relief. In SC, you cannot get alimony if you've committed adultery, and you can avoid the requirement to live separately for 1 year before divorce. The burden of proof is quite low, basically just inclination and opportunity. I'm going to retain an attorney today and serve her with divorce papers as soon as I have adequate proof. I'm no longer stuck trying to save our marriage. I see she is not the woman I thought she was. She has been manipulating me, gaslighting me into thinking I'm the problem. Edit. Thanks for the advice. I called the PI this morning, just waiting on a call back. The other spouse is apparently settling for $7 million in lump sum. Shows why my wife would be interested in someone 18 years her senior and divorced 3 times. Update. So today we had mediation and she faced the repercussions of her affair. It's been 5 months since I discovered her infidelity, after which she moved out and filed for divorce. I never mentioned that I knew what she had done. I went gray rock, got my affairs in order, and worked through my own mental anguish. But today was fun. Since she filed for divorce, she made the first offer on the separation agreement. I've been waiting for this moment to break the news that alimony is off the table. We're in an at-fault state where infidelity is a bar to alimony. Yeah, this isn't an alimony case. We've got thousands of text messages to her AP, the GPS data that puts her at his house for late-night rendezvous, statements from the country club where they hung out drinking together, and the kicker, health insurance explanation of benefits where she was screened for STDs and subsequently treated for some sort of infection. We hadn't had sex in 2023. I just wish I could have seen the look on her face when she found out. Needless to say, mediation took a big swing in my favor to avoid an at-fault trial. Another interesting nugget from today: her attorney was apparently recommended by her AP, who is using the same attorney for his third divorce. Her AP is 60 years old. She is 39, but looks more like an attractive 29. Quite wealthy, obviously on steroids and a real fuckboy type. He cheated on his wife with their nanny and is paying her millions in their divorce. I overheard their attorney chatting with my attorney in the hallway. Their attorney said, "Wow, she's been fucking that douchebag." Yeah, fucking that douchebag cost her a marriage. Probably $1 million in alimony, plus some sort of crotch rot parting gift. Judging by the cell carrier records, they apparently broke up around the time she was treating her infection. She speed ran the blow up your life category, cheats with a 60-year-old three-time divorcee roided fuckboy, leaves a marriage, files for divorce thinking a huge alimony is coming, and gets to live happily ever after. Only to find out she disqualified herself completely. Mediation flipped because she realized an at-fault trial would be a public autopsy. An at-fault trial would have been a public, document-heavy disaster, so mediation swings hard just to make it go away. AP dumped her right around the STI treatment too. Shocking how fast soulmate turns into block and delete once consequences raise their heads. Traded a marriage and a 7-figure future for a situationship, legal exposure, and antibiotics. Absolute masterclass in self-sabotage. I love how there was no emotional confrontation, no tipping her off, no trying to win arguments. You focused on facts, timing, and self-control. You let her proceed based on her own assumptions while you got organized and documented everything. A lot of men self-destruct after discovering infidelity by rushing to confront and expose. You didn't. You deserve pat on your back. Comments: what a glorious post. Congrats, OP. That played that out about perfect. Admire your patience in not confronting her on her cheating and playing the long game. She will probably come crawling back here shortly. Stay strong. Make sure you file an alienation of affection and emotional distress lawsuit against AP. See if he'll throw some cash at you to settle rather than have his business told out loud in court proceedings. Ask his STBX to do the same. You can both testify on the other's behalf, presenting the combined evidence that has been gathered. It may be more of a nuisance for her, but the sheer humiliation for them could be worth it. Threaten your ex with having the kids write statements to be entered into the record. If she doesn't cooperate, don't actually do that, but the threat might yield some results. Story 2. My 43 female partner and I have been together for 7 years. We own a home together and have 2 dogs. I always believed this was my forever relationship. For the past 3 years, though, I've been involved online with a guy, 23. It was mostly sexting, flirting, and exchanging photos. I know that sounds bad in writing, but it wasn't constant. There were long stretches where I stopped talking to him and focused on my relationship. The issue is that whenever things got stressful or we hit a rough patch, I would go back. It became a way to cope, even though I knew it was wrong. I always told myself I'd stop for good. I really did mean to. I just never got the chance to. My partner found out because I left my computer open and the messages were right there. I hate that it happened that way. I never wanted him to find out like this, or at all, because I knew it would crush him. Seeing how broken he is now has been unbearable. He's devastated. He gets upset and says I wasted years of his life. I understand why he feels that way, but it's still incredibly hard to hear when I never stopped loving him. I keep apologizing, but nothing I say helps, and I don't even know what he wants from me anymore. And I've mostly been staying in my office with the door shut to give him space, and because I'm honestly not handling this well myself. I'm crying all the time and barely functioning at work. I feel like the worst person alive, even though I never meant to hurt him. We're still living together because both our names are on the mortgage. I told him I'd move to the spare room of the house and continue paying my half indefinitely. I don't want to make things harder for him, and I don't know what else I can realistically do right now. He says 3 years is unforgivable, and I get that. But it's hard to accept that this one part of my life could erase everything else we built together. I wasn't unhappy the whole time. I wasn't planning on leaving him. I just made really bad choices that spiraled out of control. I know the trust is gone, but I'm hoping there's still some way forward. I want to be better. I hate myself for what I've done. I just don't know how to fix something when the person you hurt doesn't even want to be near you anymore.